John Oliver, right? Taking a deep dive into, well, the U.S. disability benefits system. You might be thinking, hold on, that doesn't sound like a barrel of laughs. And, well, you wouldn't be wrong.
Not this time.
Yeah, this time Oliver's tackling a seriously important issue, and we're going to unpack it. We're going to take a look at what he found and break down some of the really important stuff about disability benefits in America.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you haven't seen the segment, don't worry. We're going to get you up to speed.
Yeah.
It's, well, it doesn't pull any punches. Let's put it that way. He comes right out and says, this system, it's completely broken.
It is.
Yeah.
And, we need to understand the weight of that statement. We're not just, talking about long lines at the DMV or something, right?
Right.
This is about the lives of millions of Americans who rely on these benefits.
Yeah.
Social Security disability benefits, SSDI.
Huh?
This can be a lifeline for people facing incredibly real and difficult challenges.
And when the system fails,
it pushes people further into poverty.
Yeah.
Creates a ripple effect that, impacts us all. So it's not just about those individuals. It's about our society as a whole.
It's a big deal. And one of the things that really jumped out, one of the stats that was really kind of shocking, frankly, was how many people are denied benefits when they first apply.
Yes.
It's way lower than you would think.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredibly low.
Shockingly low.
It's like the system is almost designed to make it as difficult as possible. You know what I mean?
It does. It really does. And that's actually a point that Oliver highlights really well. He digs into how the very design of the system seems to discourage people who are eligible from even applying in the first place.
Right.
He talks about the bureaucratic maze, right?
Mm.
The piles of paperwork, the frequent need for legal help, which, let's face it, a lot of people can't afford a lawyer.
Right. If you're trying to get disability benefits, you're probably not rolling in money, are you?
Exactly. One specific hurdle he mentions, and it really stuck with me, was this requirement for recent and substantial work history.
Oh, right.
Now, this disadvantages individuals with what we call episodic disabilities.
Yeah.
So conditions that, come and go, or people who had to leave the workforce due to their condition, they may not have that recent work history, but they still desperately need this support.
And you were talking about the stories, the really sort of heartbreaking stories. And there was one that really stuck with me that he told about this person who was going through the process, who clearly, needed the benefits, but they were just, caught up in all this red tape for months and months and months.
Absolutely. It's heartbreaking.
And just struggling to get by while they were waiting, for the system to help.
That's exactly it. The system, it should be a safety net, right?
Right.
But it ends up feeling like an obstacle course.
Mm.
Imagine trying to order a coffee, but first you have to solve a Rubik's Cube. It's just unnecessarily complicated.
So are there any solutions? Or is it's just totally hopeless?
No, there's always hope. And Oliver does touch on some potential solutions. Things like simplifying the application process, increasing funding for legal aid so people can get that help, and overall shifting toward the more empathetic and humane approach.
Mm-hmm. It seems like one of the key things there is simplifying the application, making it easier, for people to actually apply.
Absolutely. Can you imagine a system that is easy to understand, accessible online?
Right.
Maybe requires less extensive documentation.
Yeah.
That would reduce the burden on applicants, especially those struggling with their health.
Right.
And it could potentially lead to quicker processing times and, ultimately fairer decisions.
It's John Oliver, so he's got to, even talking about something as frustrating as this, he's got to get some jokes in there.
Oh, of course.
And one of the bits he did that I thought was really funny was talking about the absurdity of the whole process. And he had this joke about how it's like being asked to fill out all this paperwork, but you have to do it with like a broken hand while you're simultaneously trying to prove that you can't. You're too injured to work.
It's spot on satire because it reveals the absurdity of the situation.
Okay. So we've talked about this, we've gone through it, we've looked at it. But what does this all actually mean, for us? What do we do with this?
I think it underscores the importance of awareness and action. We need to understand these issues. We need to be talking about them. We need to be advocating for change.
So you're saying we shouldn't just finish listening to this and then go on with our day. We should actually, what are you saying?
Ask yourself, how can I make a difference here, even if it's something small? Could you volunteer to help people navigate this complex system?
Right.
Could you contact your representative? Let them know that this is an issue that you care about. Push for reform.
Knowledge is power. And understanding the challenges is the first step toward creating solutions.
That's a great point. Well, listen, thanks for joining us on this, I think, really eye-opening kind of journey into this world of disability benefits that I think a lot of times, we don't really think about.
We don't.
Until we have to, or someone we know does. And it's definitely something that deserves a lot more of our attention. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Thanks for having me.